Hey everybody, welcome to my workshop. So we're back again. So it seems like a while since I've been live on YouTube, but welcome. I've had a look already to see who's in. If you can't hear what I'm saying or if the picture goes glitchy, please say so I know. This is a new setup for us with a new team, which I'm going to introduce in a moment. So can we just get a quick thumbs up as long as the sound's all right, so I know that our stream is going out to you okay. And then I'll explain a little bit as to what's going on. So I'm going to carry on for the minute until I see a thumbs up from my team here, and then I'll introduce. Oh, we got a thumbs up, right? So in order, we're gonna look at the workshop. I'm going to explain what's happened with me and my normal work at Axminster, just so there's no illusion as to what we're doing here, because this is really quite an exciting move for me. I've been doing these as Woodworking Wisdom for a long time, and now branched out on my own to do my own thing in my own workshop here at Miller's Farm Shop in Axminster in Devon. So new team, and I say new team because the first person I'm just going to bring on quickly, Farmer Tom. He was the guy that was the pair of us started streaming from my workshop in lockdown, when we started off what ended up to be Woodworking Wisdom. So it was us two that started it. And Tom, we're going to bring Tom on. Tom is a full-time farmer, hence the name, and the best beers in Devon as well.
Thanks, mate.
So
yeah.
Hi Tom.
Hi.
Right.
Hi everyone. Hi.
With the best farmer accent as well. So thank you, Tom.
Pleasure.
You're going to be question answer, and we may pay a visit to Tom's farm every now and again. He does the best cider in the area at the same time as well. So. All right, and then one other person, you will know this other person. This is Vicky, my lovely better half. Always hates getting this side of the camera, but she's got no choice. Say hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Thank you. You can go back to the cameras now. Anyway, so at the moment, she's going to be doing the switching for today. Tom's going to be doing the question answering or asking. Now we do have a few issues. Up until about 5 minutes ago, my mic wasn't working, and Tom's isn't. A very expensive mic we got for Tom, and it's decided not to work. So never mind. He's going to shout to me questions. So I was having a big. The plan was to mention everybody that's in at the moment and things like that, but we won't do that considering there's no mic for Tom. But he will shout the questions, and I'll ask them. So do we have anything to start with, Tom, before I get cracking? No? We're all good? Everybody's saying hi. Good. Well, that's one thing. That community that we built up over the years, that's what I want to bring back, and that's what I want to keep going. So this is a wonderful spot to be in. This is my school as well. So I've got 3 student lathes working. This will be one of them. And I've got my demonstration lathe. And, oh, Tom, yes, we've got a question.
Wilson, will this be a weekly feature?
So, we're going to try and do it every fortnight. The thing is here, I'm teaching I've been really well supported by students, and they're coming in their droves for lessons. So we're teaching non-stop. And the YouTube thing we planned, but we went and put all the courses in first. So we can't do it exactly the same time every week. So what we're planning to do is trying to get it in every fortnight. So the next stream will be on the 16th of May. Same time, and the reason it's 4:15 is because we have a shop that's open till 4, and Tom very kindly mans that shop on a Thursday. So that has the shutter 4, and then we start here at 4:15. That's the plan anyway. So every fortnight, there may be a glitch every now and again if that fortnight coincides with another course. So it might be 3 weeks, or it might be 1 week. So just watch the previous stream to find out when, and we'll put a little teaser out as well. So that's where we are at the moment. So it's exciting for me. First one, we've got a beautiful bit of timber, a bit of yew to work with. We're going to turn this into a flower-shaped vase, not a flower vase, or bowl, or whatever. And it's this lovely piece of yew here. So Vic's very good with the cameras. She's been doing this for IRDs for a long time. So let's have a quick scan through the cameras. We've got the down the line, and we've got the over the head or overhead. That one. Now, you might think there's an awful lot of space on this side. I just want to, in a minute, we're going to put a chuck on here. So it's going to bring this piece over. And also I want to show you a little bit about where the tool's working on this side as well. As time goes on, I will add a 4th camera. Now, from previous videos, everybody loved the GoPro view, especially when we were working with the skew chisel and that down the line that we had along the tool rest, just to see tool heights, handle heights, all those sorts of things. So we're going to get that going again. So I just need to get my tech head back on, or Tom and Vicky need to get their tech head back on. We need to understand how that works. So there's lots happening. I'm hoping to grow this channel with you guys, and it don't just mean the amount of people, but it's your channel as well. I want you to give us the ideas of things to turn. I want to be able to grow the camera views, like I said, and also we'll get Tom talking as well with another microphone and things like that. So we're going to grow, and you may have seen the holding image, or the welcome, we will be with you shortly image. That was all done by Finley, my son, and you've known Finn from back when we were in our workshop back in lockdown. So it's very much a new team, a new old team that we're working with, and all of those little things are going to grow with us. So I think enough talking for me at the moment, but please keep asking questions. We're going to turn this wonderful bit of yew. This is a very dry bit of yew. Hence the fact that I was able to get it without any splits. So I say any splits, there are a few splits here, which I've put a bit of super glue in. But what we're going to do here is a lovely shape on this side, so on the headstock side. So I'm going to put a sacrificial foot on here, then we're going to hollow out. Dust extractions, a good dust extractor, so we'll get that running in a second when I'm turning and when I'm sanding. And I just wanted to show you a few ways of sanding these types of gnarly edge pieces. And all the work holding solutions. Now, we're not going to put a finish on this at all. We are going to leave it natural, because I'll probably spray this with an acrylic lacquer afterwards. We'll talk about that. Yes, Tom, first question.
Our good friend Dean Churchill has asked.
Hey, I was just about to say, this comes from another farmer friend, another farmer tree climbing friend, Dean Churchill. And I literally, honestly, Dean, I was going to say that. Yes, this is a part of that yew. And yeah, it's a beautiful piece. There's 3 pieces of this that I managed to get out of the one log. One I turned last week and sold straight away in the shop, so fantastic. And then this piece, now one more down there, lurking down there. So yeah, look, the plan is, guys, with my demos now going forward, I want to turn things I want to turn. So your suggestions, absolutely. But I've got a workshop full of wonderful timbers here, and I'm really excited to be sharing these pieces with you. So that's the reason I'm turning wonderful pieces like this. And luckily, I'm surrounded by wonderful friends that have timber to give away. One thing, just going out of camera, man, just one thing I do want to show you, something that myself and Tom have been working on today, and that you're going to see on Instagram. Again, talking about lovely timbers, and I'm going to try and get the light behind this to show the camera. Vicky hasn't seen this yet, so she's making lots of nice appreciative noises. But there, a little bit of a resin bowl. That's going to be going on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, or me on Instagram, do have a look at what's happening. But that's a lovely bit of burr with a bit of resin. Now, put a little swirl on that one. It was a blue resin that I then just poured in a small dose of yellow resin to give that aurora look. So yes, Vicky, go overhead. Oh, the other overhead, that's it. So what a lovely bit of wood. So that's what I want to do for you. I want to do wonderful bits of timber, or turn wonderful bits of timber like that. So pretty bit of wood, that one is. So I've got to take the base off. I will do that when I'm in the shop on Monday, hopefully. But yeah, those are the things. Those are the things that excite me. Those are the things that we're going to be doing together in the next few months. I mean, it's Christmas soon, so we'll be able to get the Christmas things going, won't we? As soon as August comes, we can start making Christmas bits. Anyway, it's now my channel, so I can do things like that, you see. Anyway, let's have a look at this piece. So it's a piece of yew. It's going to be fairly dusty. We'll have the dust extraction going all the time. If you've seen any of my demos before, you know the dust extraction is not too bad in terms of noise. So here we go. And we'll start turning. So first job here, sacrificial base. Sacrificial base, I'm going to use a set of H jaws. Now, don't worry. Don't think I haven't cut all ties with Axminster. There's a lot of exciting news coming within the next few weeks that I'm going to hopefully be able to let you guys know first. But I am working very, very closely with Axminster. More news to follow. So Axminster H jaws, gripper jaws they are, and they're the sort of medium size of gripper. Which camera do you want to go to, Vic? Up or up? There you go. So nice big gripper on the inside. Okay, so we're going to use that because it gives me loads of space. Just shout out any questions you get, Tom. But no matter how rude they are, just shout them out.
This is one not just on that from Callum. What colour do you use on your Viking smoker?
Which more Viking smoker? Anyone? So Callum, hello. All right. The next time you're down, you'll have to have a look. But I've used most of the Vikings because they're earthy colours, the intrinsic colours by Hampshire Sheen. Nice earthy colours, those. And in fact, one batch of Vikings I called the intrinsic Vikings. So if you see the picture of all the smoking Vikings together, it's the intrinsic colours that we're using. All right. I'm getting a nod from behind the camera. So there we are. So I did make one of these 2 weeks ago, and it did take a lot longer than an hour. But that doesn't matter. See, we don't have a restriction on an hour now, so we can keep going. And all I'm doing here is roughing down. And incidentally, I haven't said we've got a faceplate on this side, regular tailstock this side. I could have put a 4-prong drive or a big jumbo drive in this side, but I figured, I don't want it slipping. And potential is I'm taking quite a heavy cut, so I've gone for a faceplate. Now, the one issue you have to be careful when you faceplate on end grain, it's a weak screw hole. So I put a load of screws in, and I'm using the tailstock to make sure that I'm extra safe. Now we are going to keep that lovely natural edge. So I'm working my way up to this end. This end has the most movement in it and a more flower-like in its appearance. So I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of this. I may be able to use it for something else. I don't know yet. But I want to also leave about 1/2 inch, 12 mil up the top, just to get rid of those screw holes. I don't want them impacting on the shape at all. So I'm going to stop probably a bit more than 1/2 inch, actually, probably 3/4, so about 20 mil. And then start that shaping. So yes, Tom, question.
Dewey Shed, or Dowie Shed, sorry if I got that wrong, but what do you think the double-ended gouge is, like the crown bowl gouge?
Yep. I like them. Okay, there's one there. So I've got a bottom feeder in the handle and then a 60-degree in the tip. I like them. They're handy, especially if you're traveling around as well. Because I'm in this workshop fix, I don't need them quite as much. So in the workshop, in this scenario, they're a bit more of a hindrance because at the moment, I can just grab any one of those tools, use it, put it back again. If I have to fiddle around with a grub screw, take them out, put them in the other way to use the other end of it, then it's a bit of a faff when I've got that there. If I'm traveling and I want to limit the amount of tools I'm taking, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that for me, that's the way where I like to work anyway. And I've got a few of those knocking about here. There's a little 1/4 inch version of the same one beside me. To be honest with you, anything Crown do's a thumbs up from me, but it's just my static position or demonstrating position. So if I go to demonstrate, then the double-ended one is brilliant. Let you speed up a little bit. I've gone up in size of gouge now, just to rake a bit of this timber away. So at the moment, I'm not worried about finish. I'm just losing a little bit of the weight. Right, there we are. That's about where I want to be in terms of stopping. Let's just try and stop bleaching some of that timber away. I'm going to turn that light off a minute. There, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? There, so all I've done, look, I've just taken some of the bulk weight. There's my natural edge. So now I can start the shaping itself. And I can also start increasing speed a little bit to get a better finish here. We are going to sand it to a good finish. Like I said, I want to make sure that it's clean. Even if we decide not to put a finish on, I don't want to see any scratches. So we're not going to get away with hiding it with oil or anything like that. Yes, Tom?
Anna said she's noticed on Instagram that you've been using the AW368WL lathe. She's thinking of getting this to replace her current benchtop lathe, but was torn between that one and the AB350WL.
Right. Well, there's lots of numbers, isn't there? So you can't see it, but it's right over there to my right-hand side, the 368. I've really enjoyed using this one because it's got the size of a fully grown lathe. You've got the full length, you've got distance over bed, you've got the inch stem, you've got a 3.5 thread size. So all the grown-up chucks and things like that will fit at tool rest and all those sorts of things. I'm really liking it. I know the students are liking it and they're really, really quite keen. A lot of the students that come to me are fairly fresh in the wood turning and they're really quite impressed with it. The only reason I would go up is I want a bigger capacity, and if I'm in the production turning, I want a motor that's going to, if I put a really big cut in, it's going to keep going with me all day for 6 or 7 days a week. So that's why I need trade over workshop. Workshops, if you're in your position and starting out, fantastic. That's a lovely lathe because, like I said, it's a full size. All right. Excellent. Right then. I think we can start turning the lathe up a bit now. Little bit faster. We just stop. I like to stop every now and again just to see what's happening. Have we got cracks in there? Is there any issues with it? There is one big crack. That's had a huge amount of super glue in it, so I'm not worried about that one. It's dry enough. The cracks aren't moving anymore. So what we'll do, let's start getting a rough shape and a hole point for that chuck. So just adjusting the tool rest. Probably take a little bit of this base away. So most of what we've got here is sacrificial, so I'm not too worried about it. But let's call that it for the depth. When I say depth, what I mean is I call that it for as far as I'm going this way. Then I can put my foot on. Then we can think about what we're going to do on the bottom, okay, in terms of shape. And I think I'm going to start shaping that external shape now, whilst I don't have a chuck in the way. So let's start getting some finishing cuts going. I can't afford to go too narrow here either. If I go too narrow, what will happen is I'll get an awful lot of vibration from the other side, even though we're going to use, the tailstock for a short while. it'll vibrate a little bit too much. So just a little bit of care. So this is going to be the foot for, or the sacrificial foot for our H jaws. I've been, yes, Tom, sorry, I was just going to tell a story then, but carry on.
Well, I should go with a couple of questions.
Go with a couple of questions, yeah, absolutely.
From Ronnie, hi Colwin. Do you know if the new SK88 chunk comes in 1.25 by 8?
So the question was, do I know if the new SK88 chuck comes in 1.25 by 8? 1.25 by 8. Yes, I'm 95% sure it does, because we want to sell it in the US, and from my understanding, that's one of the more common threads in the US. So yes, I'm 95% sure. If you email me that question, I'll find out for you. So email me at colwinwaymaker@gmail.com. Tom, are you able to put my email address in the comments? You give it a go. So it's colwinwaymaker@gmail.com. Yes, another question.
Full of Blarney. I saw on Brian Crone's channel the use of brewer's pitch to waterproof wine bottle sleeve. Has Colwin ever used it? It might be good for this project.
Do you know I haven't? No at all. However, I don't intend this to have water in it. So when I say a flower vase, I mean a flower-shaped vase, as opposed to a vase that is going to contain flowers. But that's a good idea. I wonder whether that would work in things like whiskey tankards and stuff like that. That might be a good thing, because we're always getting questions on how do I waterproof a goblet, that sort of thing. Is it toxic? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you're worth finding that one out. So just truing up that little foot. I must also say we are learning with this as well. We are learning everything about YouTube. We are learning, and we've been fairly used to our switching devices and cameras for a long time now. And we are learning YouTube and all these things. So the whole team, it's a new adventure for us all. So bear with us, please. Now, I think that's as far as I dare go. Otherwise, we're going to get really quite a lot of vibration. But that's looking fairly good. I don't want to see any tears. Hopefully there aren't. So we'll be able to sand that quite nicely. I won't sand just yet. I just want to do one more finishing cut when we get this turned over. So let's give it a flip round and see what we got. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take off that nub and put another little hole in the bottom. Just do that just for the minute. Turn the machine off, move my tailstock, and I'll saw this off instead of pass it off. There we go. We can do a little bit of cleaning up of that base. If I go to a smaller tool rest, little plug. If you're watching this live, I'm also going to be doing an IRD for Wood Turning 360. Hampshire Sheen's Wood Turning 360 next week on the Tuesday. And on the Tuesday, we'll be doing rocking pots and offset pendants. So if you're able to catch up on that one, that'll be grand. So I'm just going to clean that little base off. Do you know, this is actually turning really quite sound. I think I'm going to take a bit more of this away. I was expecting this to vibrate quite a lot. It's not. It's doing quite well. Despite what I said about the vibration, it's working nicely. And just take that foot around a little bit more. Oh, that turns so well. Now this will eventually end up going down a lot further than this, but like I said, I need to keep a little bit of strength in the piece. Yes, Tom?
Not that you'd like to mention it, but Martin wondered if we were going to see the Colwin Way signature skew at any time.
Well, I was going to save it to the second half of the demonstration, Martin. At last count, so 3, 6. At last count, there's 12. There's 14 signature skews in this room. So you're going to see at least one of them before the end of the demo. Yes. In fact, well, as you were asking, let's just pop a little pip in the middle, ready for the tailstock when we turn this around. There we go. The one thing about doing the way I do YouTube streams and IRDs, the one thing about the way I do it is I can't see comments, so I'm getting lots of giggles from the back over here. So I can only imagine what's being said. A couple of little secrets will let you in. You'll see a lot of posts from me on a Thursday. That's because it's Farmer Tom. Farmer Tom is not just a full-time farmer and fantastic beard wearer, but he's also a sensation on social media. In fact, I would say as much as a guru when it comes to social media. Fantastic content, right? Am I bigging you up enough, Tom?
No, that's enough.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
enough.
Yeah. As you hear. The gentleman would tell us to say, are we going to mention that thing yet, Colwin? The one later in the year? Very cryptic.
Oh, no, the thing that we're talking about, Mark, I'm guessing, are you meaning, is it in August or are we going further into December? What thing are you talking about? August. You're on about, I'm not quite sure whether you're on about a course or whether you're on about a demonstration. If you're on about a demonstration, let's mention it. If you're on about a course, it's full, isn't it? Oh, the demo. I was going to say, if it was a course, we've managed to fill up a skew course down at the Gentleman Woodturner's workshop down in Bude. But we're also doing a demo. Mark, you're going to have to put the dates in because I've completely forgotten what the dates are off the top of my head. And the demo is going to be a skew demo as well as many other things we haven't agreed on yet. I know next time I see Mark, he's going to kill me. It is on there, yes, but I've just put it down as course. Mark's going to come straight back in a minute with the dates anyway. And that's in your new workshop, Mark, isn't it? And limited to how many? 200 places, I believe. 23rd of August. At the Gentleman Woodturner's new workshop. Mark, you're going to have to elaborate more than that. Westwood Ho. For those that are in the States, I'm really sorry. It's a long way from you. It'd be worth it, but it is a long way. Great pubs. Let me take, I'm going to take the tailstock off the lathe just for the minute. And we'll go back with a 3/8 bowl gouge. bring that controller a little bit closer. I'm going to put the light back on just so my poor old eyes can see what's going on. I might turn it off in a minute if we're in trouble. Now, I'm just going to try it without the tool rest to start with. It's actually working okay. We're good. Good, okay. That's looking after me quite well. So we'll carry on and start decoring. I've left a little bit on the outside here, just so we can make some finishing cuts in a second. So at the moment we're hollowing, or we're cutting side grain. As we get further down, we'll actually be hollowing into end grain, which is a little bit more problematic. And just be careful when you get to that center pip sometimes, because if you think about it, as you get closer to the center, the speed is slowing down. That increases pressure on the chisel tip. So that's, if you're going to throw a piece out of a chuck, generally that's where it's going to be. It's going to be where you suddenly hit, it throws you around, and bang, everything goes wrong. So a little bit of care on those pieces. You know, just backed off a little bit, just as that pressure started to increase. Let me get the tool rest a bit closer. I'm not risking my fingers or the vase. I am doing that with the lathe running, so I'll just turn the machine off. It's actually cutting really, really well. Right, I think we'll start working on that top edge now. Yes, Tom, question.
Ruby has asked, where is your shop located?
So it's right near Axminster. Near Axminster. So this is a little village called Kilmington, which is literally walkable from Axminster, and it's a wonderful farm shop called Miller's Farm Shop. It's an amazing place. They have everything that you could want for your veg and vegetables, fruit. There's a fish shop, but the most wonderful restaurant as well. And I can personally recommend everything on the menu because I've tried it at least once. And again, another nice perk for the people that are coming on courses, we get to go and eat there at lunchtime as well. So all that's included. But Miller's Farm Shop, Kilmington, Axminster, Devon. It's, like I say, it's a wonderful place. Even if you just pass and come and have a look, come and say hi, that sort of thing. Ruby, I know it's a little bit harder for you all the way over there in Canada, but everyone else come and have a look. Yeah, Axminster. So Miller's Farm Shop, Kilmington, Axminster. I will, apart from our lives, which we're planning a couple of months, like I say, we will do some recorded videos, and I hope to do a little tour of this workshop and the Miller's site as well for you in the coming few months. So that'll be a nice one. Now I'm going to stop just there for the minute. I want to build up a little bit of strength now. So I'm working on the final shape, working on the final thickness. Stop and have a check. I'm sort of guessing what we're looking right. And this is what I'm talking about, is that about this flower shape that it's going to give us. Wonderful bit of timber. But at the moment, we're not even in thickness. This is the thickness I want to be throughout. So I'll carry on shaping. Stop and have a check. I think we're nearly there in terms of thickness. Yeah, we're going to keep that like that. Yes, Tom?
Comes asked, do you find when turning you that it's so dense you could leave it without a finish? But if you do, what do you prefer to use?
Always, I'm going to go finishing oil, Callum, on these. I like leaving these absolutely bare so you can't see, as long as there's no scratches, of course. But if you're going to use something, finishing oil is by far the better one. It will, this is going to sound awful, it will hide scratches if you have any little ones there. But finishing oil gives that satin finish. And I hate gloss finishes on anything like this. If you start using, you can use sanding sealer, that's fine. Just sand it back out again, with a fine abrasive. If you start using waxes on things like that, every little indent here, it will leave a little residue line behind it. So it doesn't work well at all. The other thing you could do, if you're careful, you could use a loose leaf mop to buff up. And then on the inside, something like a lamb's wool bonnet to do the, oh, I've got an avalanche behind me. Something like a loose leaf bonnet like that to do the inside. But, oil is a good finish. It's quite a resilient finish. It gives real color back to the piece as well. So that tends to be my favorite, Okay, let's just take the inside of that away. Most of the sanding of this is going to be done with a lathe off anyway. I think I can go to a slightly bigger gouge now. We've done the fine bits. Right, we'll readjust that tool rest. Get it nice and close. I mean, look, it's not giving me any bother. It's every cut I make, it's clean. It's really looking after me well, this bit of timber. So just adjust, just get as close as I can. Drop that tool rest down. I need to be below center so I can actually get to it. almost on to the finishing cuts. We've got another question though. Yes, Tom.
Paul has asked, are there any tricks to stopping its finishing oils from welding themselves into their containers?
Use them more often, Paul. That's the thing. Make sure you use it often. Mine gets used probably, well, it gets used every day, doesn't it, Vicky? So no, yeah, all the time. So just keep using it. However, if not, there's a little device, and I've got two. There's like it's got a handle and a little rubber band on it that you put around jars to undo them easily. That's the best thing. Alternatively, you got a 4-jaw chuck. Tighten that onto the lid, and then that'll take your lid off for you. So there we are, top tip. All right. I just thought that'd be a good new jaw to take to Axminster to get them to make a lid removal jaw. I think we're there. Let's have a look. Get a light in there so I can see. We're good. I'm not worried about this crack because I know how much glue I poured into it. So, but if you were, now would be the time to put some CA glue in there. Okay, you can just see it there. Pop a little bit of CA glue, and then maybe spritz it, get it to dry nice quickly before you start sanding, and then you can sand that clean. There, I think we'll start sanding now. So we're going to go rotary sander on the inside up to where the natural edge starts, and I'm going to stop the lathe to sand that natural edge. So I've got my abrasive here. I'm going to go 75 mil, so with the 3-inch discs on there. Just remove that. And we're going to go cordless. So you've got 3 types of sanding when it comes to power sanding. You've got your first one, which would be your hand rotary sander. I've explained this before, but your hand rotary sander. So that works just with the inertia from the bowl. That's your softest and kindest to the timber. Your next aggression level is this one, cordless drill. Cordless drill goes at a certain speed. Your next one will be a corded drill. Now, your corded drill then is a much faster, much more aggressive drill, and will get the job done a lot quicker. If you're just wanting to roush out bowls one after the other, then go with a corded drill to do the job quickly. We've got to be a little bit careful in here. And I'm starting with a 120 grit, dust extraction right up close. And if I thought this was too big, then I'll go to a little 50 mil drill. But it's looking okay. So only up as far as the natural edge. And I'm not going to, so this is 120 at the moment. I'm not going to use 120 by hand on the outside. We're going to go much finer than that. That's already taken that down really nice and got rid of any of those marks, any of the turning marks that might be there. A little bit on the outside edge, do the same thing, only up to where the natural edge starts. Yeah, I need to go down to 50 mil. Not playing. I'm going to keep the 75 out, but we're going to go to a smaller one on that outside edge. You want appreciating that, so. $120 again. I should be able to get this in there a bit easier. Look at that. Okay, just coming to you, Tom, 2 secs. Have a quick look at what we got there, and then we can move on up and we can sound the outside edge. Yes, Tom.
Not really a question, but this is good to hear. Mark has said, great turning apples guide on your website, Colwin. His son is 10 years old, used it to turn his first apple last weekend.
How ace is that? I don't know if you didn't hear that. That was Mark was just saying that his son, 10-year-old son, turned his first apple last weekend after watching the video on the channel. Oh, the workshop guide was that. Oh, on the workshop. Fantastic. Oh, that's great. Future turner then in the making. So look what I'm doing. I'm just holding, I'm using, you know, that belly from the cider that I was just telling you that Tom makes. I'm using that as an aid now to hold my drill nice and taut and then moving the bowl bit at a time. And you'll be amazed how quickly that takes away any turning marks, if there are any. To be quite honest, if you're starting with 120 quid, it won't take long. This is just a flick over the top. We're going to get away from this fairly quick. There we are, just roughing that out. That's fantastic. It's good. Pleased with that. Then we'll go straight to the 50. It's a lot of swapping around, I know, but it requires it. So just to get that curve. I'll lock that in position. So what we're trying to do, and the reason we're not doing this with the lathe running is if you try to, you'll end up feathering off edges. So for instance, this edge here could be feathered away because as it suddenly hits the abrasive from the void, it just gets sanded heavily away. Now, we have many plans with this YouTube channel. One of an idea that I've taken from one of my favorite YouTubers, Blacktail Studios, and he makes nothing but resin tables. But at the end of it, every now and again, he'll say, okay, we're going to give away the piece that we've made. And that's the intention with many of the pieces that we're going to demonstrate. We're going to give away to someone that's watching. We haven't figured out how we're going to choose that person yet. What about massive sums of money, Tom? That'll do it. When it bribery's always good. But yeah, that's the plan. Now this one is already taken. Dean Churchill's got this one. He probably doesn't know it yet, and he's not even watching now, I doubt. But I'll drop this off to him on the way home this evening. But that is the plan. I think I've gone all the way around there. I can't remember. That looks pretty good. I'm going to call that it anyway. So now, next grade, we're going to go into the center. Now we're starting to go down the grades. We can jump a little bit. I am going to go up to a 180 next. But after that, I'm going to go probably a 240, maybe then straight on to a 400. And because it's you, we are going to go to 600. Is he lurking? Oh, good. Good. Has to happen now. Oh, it's for yeah. It's for Rachel. See if I can get away with keeping this one on now. A little bit softer. Right, speed things up now. Lots of laughter going on. Oh, come on, Tom. Doesn't travel well though, does it? That's the only thing.
No.
It needs to be drunk almost out of the barrel, really.
And with confidence.
And with confidence. Oh, we so got to get Tom a microphone. So that we're just gently moving that bowl onto the pad. I just find it easier to control if you do that. Good. Right then, let's go. That was a 180. We'll go up to 240. Yes, Tom.
Critics ask, being as this is end grain, how do you prevent checking as you use ready prunes?
Well, I'm not getting it hot. It's dead cold still. So that's by doing this multi sort of faceted sanding, it's keeping it nice and cool. I'm not sanding one place for any long time. I'm moving the piece as we sand, so it's not actually getting hot. So I'm able to get away with it that way. See, now we're going down to much finer grades. There's not as much friction on the sander, so I'm able to hold without too much bother. There we are, a little bit of on the outside. Now we're going to make a big jump up to 400 grit. $400. We're also going to do, if there's any little tears, breaks, that sort of thing, you can just sound those away, blend them in, make them look like they're part of the natural growth of the tree. There we are. So this is what I'm talking about. There's one little one here. I don't know whether you can make that out. If I turn the light off, you might just make that out. It's just a little nick. And we can just a little bit of control. This is a fine 400. on here. Just clean off those little areas. Starting to get a real shine now. We've got that 400. I think that's it. I'm quite happy with that. We're going to just give a little going over with 600 by hand, very gently all over. 600 grit abrasive won't reshape your piece, so I'm not worried about feathering now. But what I can do with it, or what it will do for me, is give that nice final glaze. So 600 grit. Another top tip, everybody: Velcro on your lathe. Velcro, you can't see it, but Velcro on your lathe down here. Then I can just go with my different grades of abrasive. And very kindly cut out by Vicky. But yeah, a little bit of Velcro. Watch your fingers. That edge is a sharp edge. Don't let it grab you. Going to make everybody cringe now. It certainly made Vicky cringe last night. I don't like turning Banksia nuts. Keep it clean. I don't like turning Banksia nuts, but I was turning Banksia nut vases yesterday because Vicky demanded it. And I managed to get one of the seeds up underneath my fingernail wedged in there as it caught my finger. So we then went home and used a needle to then pluck a Banksia seed out. There we are. Hope you're not having your dinner any. That's a lovely bit of timber, that is. I really, really like that. That's nice. We'll get that out in a minute. Let's reverse it around. So we'll get the tailstock back in. We'll turn that around and get a nice base put on it. Finished off. I'm just going to get a little drive dog. When I say drive dog, it's literally just a sacrificial bit of timber. This is a piece of birch, just domed. We may have to oh no, it fits in there quite nicely. But we're going to hold that in the chuck and then use the sandwich between. This is why we used the Colwin Way signature skew earlier to make that little point in the end there. You can see that. There's a little point in the end. That was the only reason we made that, so that we can bring the tailstock back into play. Da, 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 da. Sound's gone a bit glitchy. I'm started. I know my mic's working. Not a lot I can do at the moment. So if it's only one person, someone else say that they can hear. That happens every now and again. Okay. All right, that's going to pop in there. There we go. We are nearly there. Just take a little bit of this tissue away, only because if you keep it there, what tends to happen, you get a lot of wind rush in your face. Lathe speed down to 0, turn the lathe on. Yes?
Can just ask, will you show doing Banksia nuts this time without resin?
We could do a Banksia nut if we really have to do a Banksia nut. I hate Banksia nuts with a passion. Banksia nuts are one of those things that they sell really well as a finished product. I'll show you some vase shapes that we do later on in the series. But they're very dusty. They underneath their initial skin, they have like a velvet. So I have to wear a full-length smock just protect my arms, otherwise I get a rash. So they're horrible things to turn. I've been cleaning up today, getting rid of some of the dust. So this is very Burt Marsh-esque, this shape. If you've never heard of Burt Marsh, that wonderful wood turner, there was a real sort of influence of mine back in the day. Look up Burt Marsh and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He had the most exquisite, lovely these style shapes. Now, I'm nowhere in that league, but it sort of reminds me of his sort of thing, this sort of shape. So I'm gonna cut this off in a minute with a saw, but before I do that, I'm gonna sand in that last little bit. Here we are. Let's just sand that little outside profile away a minute. We all good, everybody?
Yeah, just a slight lag, picture and sound, but I don't think there's a lot we can do.
Right. So we're going right the way through the grades on this because it's hand sanding. So I'm down now to 320. This is now 400. And finally, 600, because it's yew, walnut, sycamore, they're terrible for exposing scratches throughout. So you have to go a little bit finer. There we are. That should be enough. Let's just stop and just double check on that.
Yeah, Martin's just spent the old days with the mobile phone. We both had sleepless nights.
Oh my goodness. I had a little bit of a meltdown, Tom, didn't I?
Well, you're not the only one.
Yeah. If there was no one watching, I would take that a little bit further. But for Dean's sake, I'm going to stop here. Wow. Just one more cut. We're nearly there. I keep saying it. We are almost there, everybody. I'm not going to speak too soon, but I think, and we'll sound this up so this is finished. We're going to just add a little rotary disc in. Just going to back some power off from the tailstock. just so I can carry on sawing it, and I should be able to saw all the way through. There we go. You got to be a little bit careful. I mean, the base is fairly thin. This is end grain, so if you try and there we are, it just comes over. You try and rip a piece out, then you'll probably rip through the bottom, and there's not a lot of thickness there in the bottom. So last little job to finish that piece off before Vicky goes and forges my signature on the bottom is just to put a little rotary sander in the lathe. If you've seen my handwriting, you'll know exactly what I mean. I can just about draw, but I can't write very well. And so Vicky does my signatures for me. So let's just pop in a little 50mm disc. Lathe speed can come up now. Just use the coarse one. Don't stop too early with the coarse. You want to make sure you get rid of any of the marks from that little pimple. There we are, a little bit more. And then you can start going up through the grades. So that was a 120. So if we go to, we're done with those. We go to something like a 240 next, and then we'll finish 400. And now we've done the worst bit. We've got rid of the bulk. This is much quicker. So there we are. That's 240. $400. There we are. So if I turn that light off, maybe Vic, if we go to number 2 camera, again, if I get rid of some of that light, just go nice and close. There we are. You can see. All right. So that's what I mean about a flower bowl. It's got that lovely movement. You get it a lot with you. You get it with some softwoods as well, but you, of course, with that lovely color, you get those really nice indentations. So, Mr. Churchill, there we are. We'll be popping by your place on the way home tonight. Thank you very much for that bit of timber. That was well worth it. 3 vases like that we've got out of it. That is one of many nice bits of timber I hope to bring you over the next few weeks. So thank you very much. Any more questions, Tom?
No, I don't think just people just showing them that.
Oh, bless them.
Can you show it?
Nice. Can I show it?
Yeah.
There we are. Like that. There's the main camera. All right. So there. So that's our workshop. That's my workshop. My name's above the door, but this is a big team that does this. And then you're going to see a lot more of that team over the next few months, whether they want to be involved or not, they're going to be doing it. But yeah, no, thank you. If you like what you see, don't forget what I say, give us a thumbs up. But most importantly to us, if you can subscribe to our channel, that really, really helps. There's going to be a lot of things we want to do, including show you around the place, show you what we're all about here. And those giveaways, like I said, we're going to figure out how we can work that out as the fairest way. But there'll be many of them over the next few years. So as well as being here, we hope to take you out on the road a few times just to show you some of the excitement, the adventures we get ourselves into, including overseas as well. We'll also be guests along, maybe some that you've seen before also from old woodworking wisdoms, and a few friends of mine. And if you come to the school, you'll see the pictures of friends of mine dotted around the room. They're all over the place. So thank you so much for watching. Please come along next time. It's the 16th of May will be our next stream. We'll be putting out what the subject is going to be within the next week. It'll be a beautiful bit of timber, whatever. So until next time, thank you so much, and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Bye-bye.